Good morning, friends. Once again, I am going to discuss the entire set of 17 goals of sustainable development. In the last year, in one of my key speeches as resource person of an university, I discussed about sustainable development through life skills. And the same thing is published in the form of a digital book called Sustainable Development Through Life Skills by Lal Mohan Rajak. I am the author of that. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author and motivational speaker, resource person. Today we are going to discuss about the same sustainable development through life skills. Let us describe sustainable development through life skills in following 5 parts. These are the excerpts of a part of my book that is called Sustainable Development Through Life Skills, available in Amazon.in, www.amazon.in. It is in the form of digital book and published on my name, Lal Mohan Rajak. So let us discuss about the 5 parts of sustainable development through life skills. What is sustainable development? Question number one. The second is, what are the life skills those support sustainable development? Third is, what are the life skills? What are the sustainable development goals? Fourth is, how can we achieve sustainable development goals? And the fifth is, what are the roles of research scholars and universities in achieving sustainable development goals? Let us look into one by one. Sustainable development is the process of fulfilling needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their needs. Example, using minerals minimally to fulfill the present and necessary requirements so that the minerals could be preserved for meeting the future generations' requirements. Let us find the answer of the second question. What are the life skills those support the process of sustainable development? These there may be different sets of life skills for different goal achievements in various fields. Here are some of the skills of life which will enhance the process of sustainable development through achieving the sustainable development goals. In nutshell, we can say that the life skills are to be utilized to achieve the sustainable development goals. Now, which are the essential life skills? These are critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, emotional intelligence and self awareness, adaptability and resilience, creativity and innovation, decision making and entrepreneurship, time management and productivity, resolution and negotiation, environmental awareness and sustainability, digital literacy and technology skills. Now, the third question is, what are the sustainable development goals? As per United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, sustainable development, there are 17 sustainable development goals set up in September 2015 and the agenda is called the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. Let us know the history of 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, implementation, progress, and the third SDGs, icons, downloads, and guidelines. History. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by United Nations members states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which are an urgent call for action by all countries developed and developing in a global partnership. They recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. The SDGs are built on decades of work of the United Nations, including Department of Economics and Social Affairs member countries. In June 1992, at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 178 countries adopted Agenda 21, a comprehensive plan of action to build a global partnership for sustainable development to improve human lives and protect the environment. Member states unanimously adopted the Millennium Declaration at the Millennium Summit in September 2000 at UN headquarters in New York. The summit agreed upon elaboration of 8 Millennium Development Goals (MDGs) to reduce extreme poverty by 2015. Johannesburg Declaration on Sustainable Development and the Plan of Implementation, adopted at the World Summit on Sustainable Development in South Africa in 2002, reaffirmed the global community's commitment to poverty eradication and the environmental protection, and build on Agenda 21 and the Millennium Declaration by including more emphasis on multilateral partnership. At the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development of in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2012 June, member states adopted the outcome documents The Future We Want, in which they decided inter alia to launch a process to develop a set of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, to build upon the MDGs and to establish the UN High Level Political Forum on sustainable development. The Rio 20 outcome also contained other measures for implementing sustainable development, including mandates for future programs of work in development, financing small islands, developing state seats, and more. In 2013, the UN General Assembly set up a 30-member open working group to develop the proposal on the SDGs. In January 2015, the General Assembly began the negotiation process on the post 2015 development agenda. The process culminated in the subsequent adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with 17 Sustainable Development Goals. At its core, at the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in September 2015. 2015 was a landmark year of millennium multilateralism and international policy shaping, with the adoption of several major agreements. The agreements are Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015, Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development July 2015, Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with its 17 SDGs was adopted at the UN Sustainable Development Summit in New York in September 2015. Paris Agreement on Climate Change, December 2015. Now, the annual high level political forum on sustainable development with its 17 SDGs serves the central UN platform for the follow up and review of the SDGs. So, these are the brief explanations of the sustainable development through life skills, which are not only going to develop the underdeveloped nations, developing nations, but also it is going to be a boon for the human being on the earth. In all these 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, some are very important and precious, and one of them is SDG 4, that is quality education for all. All the countries should come forward, underdeveloped and developing together with the help of developed nations, so that the education up to secondary level, senior secondary level in India up to 12th class could be free. And the education has to be qualitative and inclusive, which can include all the students, whether it is from a community which is socially, educationally, and economically backward or deprived, irrespective of their socio-economic condition, location of place, race, religion, region, all must be given opportunity to have free and qualitative education up to class 12th, and the standard of the education should be equal. In case of India, the CBSE pattern schools are to be opened, and all the government schools should be replaced from class 6 to 12th. Up to class 5th, the states may have their own schools, and they may or they should teach their students in three languages. One is regional, second is a national, and the third is international, that is English. So, if it is possible to implement in all over the country in all the states, irrespective of their race, religion, region, and political benefits, they should sacrifice their political interest for developing their own people, and thus we can have 96% employment generation in India, and this can be equated with the developed nations in the world. This is how India could be one of the most developed countries in the universe, in the globe. This is what I wanted to tell today. Today we are going to conclude this here itself. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author, resource person, and a motivational speaker. Thank you so much.